Hey guys, so today I thought I'd just play with the UV camera and talk a little bit about what I've learned since starting to use the UV camera a little bit. So, and a few people requested a few little experiment things that I thought I'd do under the UV lights and then just talk a little bit about it. So, one huge thing I've learned from the UV camera is how important it is to apply sunscreen liberally and how important it is to focus on areas such as, I know there's two areas I tend to miss almost every time we film myself putting sunscreen on. It is the very top of my forehead and hairline, and it is around my eyes. Those are the two areas, no matter what, I almost always seem to miss. So now that I know that, in the morning when I apply it, I can focus on really hitting those areas. So I know there's probably a lot of other areas people might miss or apply it too thinly. So it's important to pay attention to that and kind of know, especially if you have specific areas of pigmentation issues, perhaps there's a spot you're missing it and it makes sense. The other thing I've learned is how UV damage looks through the UV camera. Before I apply sunscreen, I can tell every single spot of pigmentation, dark spots, anything like that, shows up in this UV camera. And it has made me focus on using sunscreen even more because seeing your sun damage through another light, another lens, is a little bit jarring, and it's real and it's there, and once hyperpigmentation, dark spots are there, and sun damage, it is so hard to get it to go away. So you're much better off preventing it in the first place. So I know the younger generations kind of are more aware of this than older generations. Like when I grew up, sunscreen wasn't a huge deal. As a kid, if I went to the pool, I'd put it on maybe once. That was about it. So it's important to focus on. It's interesting, in some cultures, tan equals beautiful, and in others, tan is not a good thing. So in the US and in some European countries, tan is really a valued thing. You look golden tan, you look beautiful, but a lot of other cultures, that's not such a big thing. So I really wish we'd get away from this. Although I still use bronzer, so I guess I like a little bit of a glow. Another thing I have learned is how difficult sunscreen is to remove, and since I've started playing with this camera, I've been more dedicated to a two-step cleanse than I ever have, using an oil-based cleanser first and then a creamy, foamy, basic cleanser second. But that oil-based cleanser, makeup removal, balm, first step is so important because sunscreen is so stubborn and difficult to remove once it is on. So I'm going to do a little demo of that. I'm also going to use a little powder sunscreen so you guys can see how that applies, and then a blotting paper to see if sunscreen is removed easily from a blotting paper. So maybe I'll start with the blotting paper first. So I'm using the Hello Sunday SPF 50 Daily Face Moisturizer. I really enjoy this brand, Hello Sunday. If you get a chance to check them out, they're Cult Beauty. I think they're now Beauty Bay. They also have their own website. Really enjoy it. I think all of their products are fragrance free. Really nice new filters. So certainly worth checking out. So I'm going to give it a little squeeze there. And then cameraman is watching with the UV camera right now. So this is what I would consider probably a good liberal application. Just making sure it gets absorbed before I do the blotting paper. Okay. There you go. Can you see it? Okay, slow. Cameraman wants me to move slowly. Okay, I'm grabbing the blotting paper. This is a blotting paper I got from Jolcy because they included it in my purchase, which was awesome because I have dry skin. I rarely use blotting paper. So, okay, so I'd say the sunscreen is applied pretty liberally. Now we're going to see if the blotting paper removes any of it. I don't know. It's a good little experiment to play with. So, because some people think sunscreens apply greasy, and because of that, they want to use like a tissue to blot it off so it doesn't look as greasy. So we thought maybe this would remove some of the sunscreen. Maybe not. It's still pretty thoroughly on. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. Because it is so stubborn to remove. Does the blotting paper look purple on the thing now?
Yeah.
What about compared to like a regular blotting paper that's not been absorbing sunscreen. Do they look different?
Hold them at a different angle. Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, well there you go. So perhaps blotting it might not remove much of the protection and more of the greasiness. Okay, so then I thought I'd show how difficult it is to remove. And this is a cleansing wipe. A lot of people use cleansing wipes before they go to bed, or they don't want to mess up their sink or whatever. So you can kind of see sometimes it is difficult to remove sunscreen with just a simple cleansing wipe. So probably a lot of the sunscreen might still be on my hand. I'm not sure, but it's a good experiment. And this is a cleansing wipe, so basically ever since I did this video, cleansing wipes are not my main source of cleansing. They never really have been, but you're just better off. Some sunscreens are certainly more tacky and sticky than other ones. So, okay, so then I thought another thing I was curious about was sunscreen powders and how good of a job they do. So this is the Color Science powder. So this will be an interesting little test because I think generally these powders don't do as good of a job protecting skin as others do. Can you see any of it on the UV camera? So this is the one with the powder. Does it look like it has any sunscreen on it?
It just looks greasy.
This one?
Yeah, on the camera.
Huh. What about compared to this hand?
That hand's way dark.
Really? So there we go. We've proven it. Is that the scientific study? Did I prove it something? I don't know. So then let's go apply. So if you really want protection from powders, you really have to frickin' apply the heck out of it. And I would say if a powder like this lasts you more than a month, a whole tube like this lasts you more than a month, you're not applying it enough to get protection like you think. So that would probably be closer to actual protection. But see what it looks like in the real camera and the UV camera? It's not very aesthetically nice to look at. So it's interesting to play with the UV camera. So I guess we've shown 3 things. We've shown, sorry, I keep looking at the UV camera and I don't want to do that because I'm not going to look good in it anyway. So I guess I've learned 3 things. The main things I've learned. How difficult sunscreen is to remove, how easy it is to miss lots of parts of your face, and sunscreen powders aren't super effective. For them to be effective, you have to walk around looking like a chalky ghost monster thing. I don't know. So, anyway, that was interesting. So, I guess that's my experience for today. That's what I've learned so far. I've got a lot of other things. A lot of people have had a lot of requests, so leave a comment. I know I'm going to work on videos with sunscreens taken right at the application, 2 hours in, 4 hours in, 6 hours in, and see kind of how they look throughout the day and how good it protects. So we've got a lot of fun things to do with it. So if you have more thoughts or ideas or specific sunscreen requests, definitely leave a comment below. So anyway, very interesting. So leave a comment below and thank you guys so much. Okay, bye guys.